Yo, RX finally back with another breakdown of UFC Vegas 80 Dawson versus Green. We are finally back after a week break, which felt a lot longer than a week and really sucked. We are back. Not with a great card, but with a fine card, and either way, no matter what card it was, at least we have fights back. So, not very much more to say about it. I'm ready to break down this card. I'm ready to talk about some fights. I'm ready to watch some fights, because all we've had is Contender Series for a week. So, now I love Contender Series, but it's not a UFC card. So, yeah, but not very much. Excuse me. Not very much more to say. Besides, please like, comment, sub. 100 subs goal by the end of the year. We ain't gonna hit that at all. Can we hit 50? Please? 50 subs goal by the end of the year. 100's not gonna happen. We're in October. And we're only at 27. Can I hit 50? Please. I know that ain't gonna happen either. But whatever. Enough about that. Let's talk about some fights. Do all that shit I said, and let's break down some fights. 11 in total. We lost a fight this week. Yeah, it was a pretty good fight, but what can you do? We have 11 fights, and it's a very average card on paper. As we begin the night with a fight that I'm shocked hasn't happened, because we've both been in the UFC forever, and both are not that great, but I don't know, it's weird. We start off the night with Montana de la Rosa versus J. Aldrich. Not a great fight, a very odd fight. Aldrich is stepping in for Stephanie Egger and Maria Akapova. They try to get Montana 2 fights on this card, and like I said, Egger and Akapova pulled out, so Aldrich finally stepped in, and we have Montana on this card. So we'll start with talking about Montana de la Rosa. Montana in the UFC is 5-4-1. Her 5 wins. Whoever Christina Marks is, Rachel Ostovich, Nadia Kashim, Mara Borrelia, and Ariane Lipski. Her 4 losses: Angeli Araujo, Macy Baba, Tatiana Suarez, and she had a draw with Mayra Bueno Silva. I'll start off by talking about her wins. She don't have any good ones outside Lipski. Lipski has aged pretty well, and that's fine. Who can? So, if you look at her 4 losses, like, Angeli's can't get mad at. That she was literally fed to Tatiana. This is bad, and I know no one remembers this fight, but I do a little bit, and yeah, Barber literally just hugged her against the cage for 15 minutes. It was fucking terrible, and yeah, that's not a good loss. Like, Macy Baba is garbage, so. And a draw with Mayra Bueno Silva is aging actually pretty well. Even if I remember correctly, this was not that right of a score, but who cares? Montana's not very good. Her striking is pretty terrible. Her wrestling, it's fine. Like, you don't want to be on the ground if you're a bad ground fighter, but if you're a decent one, like Macy or Tatiana, who's an amazing ground fighter, you're not gonna win. Or she's not, Montana is not going to win. So she's a very beatable fighter. You're not worried about her striking at all, and her ground game's her only threat. But if you're better than her on the ground, which most are, she's no threat at all. So yeah, there's not very much to say about Montana. She's never impressed me. Like, her only good win is Ariane Lipski, and that was 2 years ago now. And that was a Lipski who I'm pretty sure was, like, who already lost, like, 2 in a row. Well, it was just coming off a loss, so, yeah. And that was Lipsky pre-learning how to wrestle, so Montana's a weird fighter. She's not good, but she's not completely terrible. She can still win fights, and this is definitely a fight she's gonna need to win, because if she loses, that'd be 3 in a row. She might be walking out the door. So yeah, I don't know. Montana's a weird fighter. She's not good, but she's not bad. She's like just in that middle ground of she can win fights, but if you're better than her anywhere or even the slightest, you're gonna beat her. So it's weird. We're a frustrating fighter, also very frustrating. I've picked her in a fight or two. She's frustrating. Her opponent, Aldrich, JJ in the UFC is 8-5. I just broke down over fights literally 2 months ago. Against Nah. I want, like, if you want a better breakdown of JJ, you can just go watch this breakdown for the Max Zombie card. But overall, I'll just say the cliff notes. She's not a bad fighter. I think she's a little bit underrated. Her striking is average. Her ground game's good. She's a very average fighter. None of her wins are like popping off the screen. Like, her best one is Paliana Viana, who is a decent fighter, and the biggest accomplishment in her career so far is winning a round and doing pretty well against Earn Blanchfield for a good round and a half until getting subbed. So yeah, Aldrich is a very solid fighter. She's still young, 31. She's coming off her first career finish, or no, her first UFC finish, and yeah, she didn't look that good in that fight, but I think she'll look better in this one. Nah was a little bit of a problem in areas, but Nah gave up pretty easily, so yeah, not very much to say. Let's JJ on short notice, didn't take much damage against Na Liang, so let's see how she looks in this fight against someone who's better than Na pretty decisively, but still ain't very good. So yeah, the betting odds for this fight are actually wrong on Tapology. Montana has became a little bit of a favorite, about a -130, 135, -140. I don't get that. I'd probably have JJ Aldrich -150. On the feet, JJ is way better. On the ground, Montana's she's a little good on the ground, but I don't really, if she's becoming a favorite just because her ground game could be a little bit better, then you're pushing it. I definitely, again, if we're just talking, since we are talking about two fighters who do like to go to the ground, and that always turns into a fight on the feet, this is JJ Aldrich's fight easily. So yeah, I'm a little confused by the odds swaying towards Montana. Like, if you're going off, yeah, JJ had a pretty weak performance against Na, and she just fought 2 months ago almost, then yeah, I see that a little bit, but besides that, you're really pushing it, so yeah, not very much more to say. My pick for this fight is going to be JJ Aldrich, and I'm going to go by decision. I think JJ will be able to win on the feet, do better on the ground, and take a decision home. So, my pick for this fight is starting off with an underdog, even if Tapology is wrong. My first pick of the night is JJ Aldrich by decision. I think she can just be a better fighter and get her hand raised. After that, we had to bantamweight for a very annoying fight to break down, because I don't trust either guy, and neither are really that good either. But whatever. Our second fight of the night is Johnny Kid Kavenbo Munoz Jr. versus the Mongolian Aoriqileng, or Aoriqileng, my bad. Aoriqileng. This fight's a pain in the ass to break down. I don't feel safe either side. Let's talk about Johnny Munoz. Johnny in the UFC is 2-3. His 2 wins are Jamie Simmons and Ludwig Shololian. His 3 losses are Nate Maness, Tony Gravely, and Daniel Santos. His 2 wins are 2 bad fighters, and in this fight against Simmons, he didn't even look that good. And his 3 wins, Nate Maness. Or his 3 losses, my bad. Nate Maness, that's the loss, has aged poorly. Tony Gravely, sure. And Daniel Santos. Yeah, you can't get mad at that. You can't get really mad at this one, sure, and then that's not great. And then these 2 wins are 2 bad fighters. I've never thought Munoz is good. I think he's really bad, actually. Like, even in his wins, he's not looked impressive. Like, he beat Ludwig Shololian, who is not good. And you beat Jamie Simmons, who is not good, and you didn't even look that dominant doing it. So, yeah, very big problem there. So, yeah. I don't know, like, on the feet, Munoz is fine. On the ground, Munoz is fine. He's just not really good anywhere. He's just fine. Maybe he's gotten better. He only fought 4 months ago. Couldn't got much better, and I doubt he's better at all, to be honest, because he sucks. So, yeah. To talk about his opponent, Aoriqileng, the Mongolian murderer. Aoriqileng in the UFC is 2-3. Also, his 2 wins, Cameron Ellis and Jay Perrin. His 3 losses, Jeff Molina, Cody Durden, and Ayman Zahabi. Same thing, a lot of the same thing with Johnny Munoz. Like, his 2 wins are not great fighters. I would say his 2 wins are better. I think Ellis and Perrin are better than Simmons and Shololian. But not, and that's pretty much just because Jay Perrin, I think, is a better fighter, is the best fighter out of the 4. Then for his losses, Molina, that was a great fight. Durden, sadly, can't get mad at that. And Ayman Zahabi, that's still kind of shocking that Zahabi put him out like that. Like, Aoriqileng has been known for having a tough chin. So for him to get put out like that is a little shocking. But good for Ayman, man. Good for fucking Ayman. And yeah, Aoriqileng's trying to bounce back after that. Is his chin fading? Maybe. Yeah, he's a brawler. He's a fun fighter. He just wants to go in there and have a war. He can go to the ground a little bit, but he's not good at it. And yeah, dude's durability is pretty good, but I guess it could be fading a little bit. And overall, he's just a fun, entertaining fighter. He's only 30, but he's taking a lot of damage, so who knows how much that 30 is, more maybe in the mid to late 30s, the damage he's taken. But yeah, not really much to say. He's an entertaining fighter, but an untrustworthy fighter. Look at his last fight. So yeah. The bang after his fight are a pick'em. I agree. It's hard to trust. I agree if this is actually to a T, like a small favorite, but not by much. This is a bitch of a fight to predict. I don't trust either. I think both are not very good fighters, and pretty much you're just picking who do you think is worse. And the fighter I think that is worse here is probably Munoz. I think Aoriqileng's a little bit better. Like, if you ask me his striking versus his wrestling, I'd think his striking's better. And then who's better on the other's weakness? I would probably say Aoriqileng's a better striker than Munoz is a better ground fighter than Munoz is a striker. Maybe I'm wrong on that part, but I still think I am right on the first part. And that's why I am gonna go Aoriqileng in this fight. I think he should be able to win this fight. I'd be a little I don't know. He should be able to win this fight. Do I think he will? That's a tough debate. I think he should, and I think he might, but it's far from a confident pick. Like, I'm far from being confident in Aoriqileng, and I could 100% see him choking this fight. So, yeah, I will not be shocked at all. So, yeah, not very much more to say. Stay hydrated. Yeah, not much to say about the fight, besides my pick for it is going to be Aoriqileng, and I'm going to go by... I could see a finish, like he did to LC, clipping him into the body, or just knocking him out, but I'm going to go Aoriqileng by decision. I think he'll be able to just beat up Munoz and win decision. Maybe early he does bad, but as the fight gets later, I think he might be able to turn it on and do better, so I'm going to go for that. I'm going Aoriqileng by decision. I'm not the most confident, but why not? Let's try. After that, we head to our third fight of the night, and it's a interesting fight. I don't think it's a bad fight. I think it's a very interesting fight. We got Kanako Murata versus Vanessa Little Monster Demopoulos. Not a bad fight. Let's talk about Kanako Murata. Murata in the UFC is 1-1. Her one win is Randa Marcos, and her one loss is Variana Jandiroba. She's been off for 2 years, because in the Jandiroba fight she broke, well, I don't know if she broke her arm, but her arm was fucking destroyed. Yeah, she's been out for a minute now, but she's back now, and she has a pretty, not an easy debut by any means. Or not debut, but a return fight. Demopoulos will give her a fight. In her first 2 fights, I didn't see much impressive. Her striking's fine, her ground game's fine. She's just a fine fighter. Didn't see anything that I was like, wow, she's good. She's just pretty average. She, like, unlike Mizuki Ioni, who came back on the last card, Mizuki actually had some pretty good wins on her record, and she had a longer record, but Kanako has a very short record, and outside of Marcos, her only notable win is Emily Ducote, so, yeah, and that's not a bad win. Ducote's fine, but outside of that, you're no good wins, and even Randa Marcos is not a good win, because Randa Marcos is fucking trash, but whatever. Yeah, not very much to say about Kanako. She's pretty fine everywhere on the feet. She might be not great on the feet, but whatever, and on the ground she's fine, so yeah, very not much to say. To talk about our opponent, Vanessa Demopoulos. Vanessa in the UFC is 3-2. Her 3 wins are Sylvia Gomez-Torres, Jinyu Fry, and Maria Oliveira. Her 2 losses are JJ Aldrich and Karolina Kowalkiewicz. For her 3 wins, she showed heart against Silvana. She was just better against Jin and Maria, which you should be. They are 2 of the worst fighters on the roster. And then for her 2 losses, Aldrich on short notice. This was for Demopoulos. She stepped on short notice. She just got fucking pieced up in the best performance of Aldrich's career. And then her last fight against Karolina, she just used a terrible game plan. She tried to strike for some reason when she easily should have went to the ground. And she might have, I don't want to say she would have won, but she would have done a lot better work if she did go to the ground in that fight. Yeah. I don't think Demopoulos is a bad fighter. I actually think she's a little bit of an underrated fighter. I think she's decent. Yeah, she's 35 years old, which ain't great, but she's not a bad fighter. Her grappling or her grappling wrestling is fine. It's her strong suit. Her striking is very weak, but in this fight it might not be so weak. Maybe, I'm not sure. Again, Karolina's gonna be weak. Karolina, even a pretty old Karolina's gonna be able to outstrike you. But Vanessa, if she comes in with the right game plan into a fight, she could win. So, her game plan in her last fight was just not good. So, yeah. I don't know, I don't think she's a bad fighter, but she really does need to get back on track here, or it could be very bad for Vanessa. And she could easily get back on track here. This ain't that tough of a fight. I think the odds are a little bit wrong. And I really could see Vanessa getting back on track here. She could win here. The betting odds first I have Kanako Murata minus 300 to plus 240. I disagree heavily. I get Murata being a favorite, and it's also comparing records, hers is way nicer. So I'd have Kanako maybe minus 180. I'll take 180 to 260 or to 160, but 200's pushing it. So, and who am I going with in this fight? This is a hard fight to pick. I feel like I think Demopoulos is a lot better than people think. Kanako's been off for 2 years, and the reason has been she fucking destroyed her arm, and plus she doesn't even have that many good wins, or even like Demopoulos might have lost these fights, but even if she had some decent competition she's been in there with, Sam Hughes, well, she didn't lose to Corey McKenna, but still, Sam Hughes, Corey McKenna, Lupita Codinez, JJ Aldrich, fucking Karolina. Like, she's been in there way, like, Muraku has only been in there with Jandiroba and Ducote, who are not bad fighters, but that's 2. So, yeah. Who am I going with in this fight? I'm leaning Demopoulos. If she fucks up here and comes in with a stupid game plan, I'm not picking her again. But I feel like she could win this fight. Fight smart, fight at your strengths against her weaknesses, and win. I think that could happen here in this fight. That's what I'm leaning towards. If Kanako wins, fine, I'm not shocked by it. But I'm gonna lean with the dog here. I think she could pull it out, and I'm gonna go with Vanessa Demopoulos. I think she could pull out a upset, fight smart, and she could win. If she doesn't fight smart and she loses, I'm not gonna pick her again. As an underdog, if it's a fight she should win, I will pick her. But I'm not gonna take a risk on her again. It just doesn't work. Excuse me. So yeah, my pick for this fight is gonna be Vanessa Demopoulos by decision. Confident? No. But I could see it happening. I could definitely see it happening. So that's what I'm gonna go with it. Not very much more to say. A little monster demo by decision. After that, we head to men's flyweight for a fight that's pretty easy to predict. They're like the second easiest fight on the card to predict, I feel. As we have Nate Mayhem Maness versus Mateus Mendonça. I'm not gonna waste too much time on this fight. Let's talk about Nate Maness. Nate in the UFC is 3-2, 3 wins. Johnny Munoz, Luke Saunders, and Tony Gravely. His 2 losses are Umar Nurmagomedov and Tagir Ulanbekov. Not very much to say about Nate. Like, yeah, he had 3 wins. He had a nice tear, but then he ran into the beast that is Umar Nurmagomedov, which, of course, you're not going to win that fight. It's Umar Nurmagomedov. Then, in his last fight, he made his flyweight debut, and it went as well as you think. He got fucking destroyed. Yeah, he is not a flyweight. He should not be trying to make flyweight. It looks like it's hurting him more than anything, and I think it's gonna go bad for him again. So, yeah. Anyone who's at 35, his weight class, he wasn't good. Like, he's just not a good fighter. Like, he's average, he can beat a Tony Gravely or Johnny Munoz, but he's not ever gonna beat anyone decent, and he's just not that good. And now he's draining himself to make fucking flyweight. Yeah, that just screams bad news. Let's talk about his opponent, Mateus Mendonça. Mendonça in the UFC is 0-1 coming up to Contender Series. In his UFC debut, he got Javid Basharat, which, of course, that's not gonna go well, and it didn't. He got destroyed and lost, which can't get mad at. That was 10 months ago. Now he's back, and he had a giant step down in competition, and it's at flyweight, so that helps. And yeah, he's going to win this fight. Really not much to say. He should easily beat Nate Maness, because Nate Maness is not good. So, yeah. Yeah. The betting odds for this fight have Mateus Mendonça minus 270 plus 220. I have Mendonça minus 300. You can go even higher if you want. I would say minus 300. He should win this. Nate Maness is terrible. Nate Maness is killing himself to make 125. And Nate Maness is going to get finished here. So, my pick here is Mateus Mendonça by knockout in the first. He should be able to break that already pretty weak chin of Maness and get his first UFC win. So my pick, Mateus Mendonça by knockout in the first. After that, we head to a pretty interesting fight in the women's strawweight division between Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus the warrior princess Diana Belbiţă. Let's begin with talking about Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Karolina has had a long UFC career, and in it, she is 8-7. Not gonna her whole career, gonna go down her last. All of this. She went on a bad fight losing streak, not against bad fighters. Aldrich, Watterson, Rosa, and Jan. Outside of Watterson, those ain't bad. Then she lost Jessica Penne, which that looked like it was the end of the road. But then out of nowhere, she fucking came back, beat up Philipe as everyone knew she would. Then she shockingly beat Sylvia Gomez-Suarez, which is a little questionable. That was a really bad decision. And then in her last fight, she pretty much outclassed Vanessa Demopoulos for 15 minutes. Again, Vanessa did fight pretty stupid, but it happens. Now she's fighting Diana Belbiţă, who is about on the same level of who she's been beating. She's better than Philipe, but she's on the same level of Gomez and Demi. Karolina, the new Karolina is, of course she can still strike well, but she can wrestle a little bit now. I do think we're going to see her wrestling this fight if she's smart. We saw it against Sylvia Gomez-Suarez. We saw it against Philipe Sharing, and it's not bad. She is training with JJ and all the people down there. Probably Gomrod, I'm guessing. If she's going, so yeah, she's training with different people, and she's looking better. This is the best she has looked since what? Fucking 2016? So, yeah. Like, she is 37 years old, so she's gonna start running out of juice eventually. But as of right now, she seems to have plenty left in the tank, and she's still fucking rolling, man. Well, let's see how far KK can get. So, yeah, not very much more to say. She still got it, somehow. To talk about her opponent, Diana Belbiţă. Diana in the UFC is 2-3. Her 2 wins, Hannah Goldie and Maria Oliveira. Her 3 losses, Molly McCann, Liana Jojua, and Gloria Dipola. Not very much to say. She completely outclassed Hannah Goldie, but Hannah Goldie ain't that good. And then she, in her first fight in a while, she beat Maria Oliveira pretty easily, which you should. Excuse me. Yeah, Maria Oliveira was fucking garbage. But then her 3 losses, Molly McCann, that's not aging well. Jojua, that's not aging well. Gloria DePaula, that's not aging well. Even if I do think, like, this was a great fight. This was a good fight. But still. Yeah, she's just not really good. Like, that's her full thing. Like, she put on a master class against Hannah Goldie, but Hannah Goldie sucks. She beat Maria Oliveira, who sucks. But then she's also losing to Liana Jojua, who sucks, Gloria DePaula, who sucks, and Molly McCann, who's a can crusher. So, what the fuck am I meant to do here? Like, it's actually weird that the best fighter she has fought in her UFC career is who she's about to fight. That says a lot. So, I don't know. Belbiţă is a weird fighter. She's fine on the feet. She's capable. but fuck is she not that good overall. And yeah, on the ground she's not good. Yeah, she has 4 submission wins, but I guarantee you they ain't against good. Yeah, 1 and 2 fighter. Let's see. I want to see her other submission wins. 2-0, 0-0, and where's the 4th? Was it in the UFC? No. How weird. But yeah, she's just not that good. And she's still young. She's only 27. But overall, she's just not that good of a fighter. And this is a big step up. I think she might get thrown back down those steps. So yeah. The main odds for this fight, I have Karolina Kowalkiewicz minus 190 for against plus 165. I agree. KK should be a favorite here. Not minus 200, but I'm very okay with minus 190. And I agree. She should be able to be a better fighter. On the feet, it might be close with how old KK is, but if it hits the ground, it's Karolina's fight all day. And if she's smart, she's gonna take it to the ground and win. So yeah, my pick for this fight is pretty simple. I'm going Karolina Kowalkiewicz by decision. If it's on the feet, again, it's close. But if she's smart, go to the ground and win. So yeah, my pick, Karolina Kowalkiewicz by decision. She should be able to beat Diana Belbiţă. And to close out the prelims, we have a pretty terrible fight, but at least it might end quickly. We have Philipe Monstro-Lins versus Ian the Hulk Cutelaba. Let's talk about Philipe Lins. Philipe in the UFC is 3-2. His wins: Marcin Prachnio, OSP, and Max Grisham. His 2 losses: Andrei Arlovsky and Tanner Boser. Not a great set of losses, and his 3 wins. Prachnio is garbage, OSP is old, and Grisham is terrible. So yeah, he's not beating great fighters, and he's not a good fighter. He has power, and that's it. Like, he's a terrible fucking fighter, and I don't even want to waste my time talking about him. He's fucking terrible. We all know it, so yeah. To talk about the opponent, Ian Cutelaba. Ian in the UFC is 6-8-1. I'll go over his last 5 fights. Like, he beat Devin Clark badly, then he lost 3 in a row, but then he came back and beat Tanner Boser. Like, he's the weird one. He's such a weird fighter. He really is. One fight, excuse me. One fight he looks like a new fighter that could be a real problem in the division, and then the next fights he's getting beat up by fucking Ryan Spann and Kenyon Zechiku. So, but then he's turning around and running through Tanner Boser. So it makes no motherfucking sense. But whatever. If he actually ever got a gas tank, he might actually be a pretty decent fighter. But he never gets a fucking gas tank. He still gasses after 3 minutes. So, yeah. Very, frustrating fighter to say the least. I've picked him a couple times. He's burnt me. I've picked against him a couple times. He has burnt me. A very frustrating goddamn fighter. Just make up your mind. Are you gonna suck or are you gonna win? Fuck. The betting odds for this fight have Ian Cutelaba minus 150 to plus 125. I agree to a T. Those are the right odds. On the feet, that's an interesting debate to have. Who's better on the feet? On the ground, it's Ian. Oh, on the ground, it's definitely Ian's fight. He's a Greco-Roman wrestler and all that shit. He's way better on the ground. So, yeah. On paper, you should win this fight, but let's be honest. Is he? Probably fucking not. To be honest. And that's worrying. But that's Ian for you. Like, Ian should win this fight, but do you really think he's going to? No. Probably not. But you never fucking know now, do ya? Oh no, I'm confused by Eon. Linz just sucks. Like, nothing more to say. Eon's actually a confusing fighter. So, yeah. Really don't know what to say here. Besides, who am I going with? I am going to go with Ian Cutelaba, even as much as I hate picking him. Because I don't fucking know to trust him or not. I probably shouldn't. But fuck that, if you don't think I'm gonna fucking pick him. And how am I going to pick him to win? Of course not a submission or a decision, because he's too fucking tired to do that. I'm gonna go by a knockout in the... fuck. Second. I don't see a first round finish for some reason. I just feel second round finish. I don't know why. I just feel it. So I'm gonna go Ian Cutelaba by knockout / TKO in the second. He's gonna gas out Philipe early, finish him later. Ian by finish in the second. Those are the prelims. Not bad prelims. Okay fight to open it. Confusing fight. Not bad. Highlight. Not bad. So, whatever. Not a terrible prelim, but the main card, which is where it picks up, and it's not bad for a fight night. If there's a real main event on top of this would be amazing, but this is a fake main event, so whatever. But let's open the main card with a fight that screams fireworks, as we have Senor Perfecto Bill Algeo versus the Great Ape Alexander Hernandez. Let's talk about Bill Algeo. Bill in the UFC is 4-3. His 4 wins. Spike Carlisle, Joe Anderson Brito, Herbert Burns, and TJ Brown. His 3 losses: Ricardo Ramos, and Andre Fili. His wins: Carlisle ain't very good. Brito fought really bad in that fight. He made Burns gas out, and he ran through TJ Brown as you should. His 3 losses, short notice. Ramos is not a bad fighter, and Fili's really good. And that was a great fight, so, yeah. Algeo is a fun fighter. He is getting better every fight. It seems. He is getting better, it seems. Like, his last 4 fights, I'll say, he's looked really good. Like, Brito, yeah, that was an off night for Brito, but still, Burns and Brown were just great performances, and he gave Fili a hell of a fight. You could give him that fight almost. So, yeah, and Algeo is fun. He stalks you, he makes you fucking tired, he makes you fight, you gotta strike with him, it's not gonna go well. You go to the ground with him, it's not gonna go well. It's kind of a lose-lose situation. So, yeah, he's just a really solid fighter. He's made his way into the UFC, and let's see how he's been doing really good. Now he gets another fight. This will be a big win for him. If he can get this win, he's probably right back into fighting the guys like Fili, or guys like that, the upper echelon, the unranked. So, yeah. He's just a really solid fighter. There's not much more to say. Talk about his opponent, Alex Hernandez, a guy I have the opposite to say about. He is 6-5 in the UFC. Not gonna say much about his past fights. I'll go for his last. I'll mainly talk about the UFC career. Like, he beat Badino Dariush, who sucks. He beat Ubin Mercer, who's not great. Cowboy took him to school. He beat Trinaldo. Dober flatlined him. Gritzmacher's trash. Destroyed by Moises. Beat Breeden, lost, and then questionable decision against Jim Miller. He's not a good fighter. Like his wins are mainly not good fighters. Trinaldo and Miller, both old as dirt, and his losses are all the only bet, like, Moises, fucking Dober, Cowboy. He's losing to fighters he should lose to. He has no fucking gas tank, and he moved down to a division he should not be fighting in. So, he's not a good fighter. I've never thought he is a good fighter, and it's always great seeing him get beat, because he has to shut the fuck up. He's a big mouth motherfucker, and he gets fucking post over and over again, so yeah, not really much more to say. He's just not a good fighter. He's not good. There's really just little to say. He's not very fucking good. So, yeah. The betting odds for this fight have Bill Algeo minus 140 to plus 120. Yeah, I agree. And, of course, I'm going... actually, no, I have Bill minus 200. He should win this fight pretty easily. Hernandez is shit and going down to 45 again, which is a terrible idea. So, yeah, mine definitely gonna go Bill Algeo in this fight. How I'm feeling a TKO in the second. I could feel submission, but I'm gonna go TKO. I don't think this goes 15 minutes, and I don't think Hernandez wins it, so unless he clips Bill early, which ain't gonna happen, I'm going Bill Algeo by TKO in the second. Not really much more to say. Should be a pretty easy win for Bill Algeo. Stay hydrated. After that, not gonna waste your time here. Drew Dober is the lock of the night. He's going to run through Aoriqileng. Knockout in the first round for Drew Dober. Not gonna waste your time. After that, we had two welterweights for a very interesting fight between Alex the Great White Morono versus Joaquin New Mansa Buckley. Let's talk about Alex Morono. Alex in the UFC is 12-5-1. Talk about his last couple fights. He went on a nice tear. Cowboy, Zawada, Mickey Gall, Semblesberger, not bad. But then Ponzinibbio beat him. Very not a good performance by Ponzi. Ponzi had to rely on luck to win that fight. He had to clip and finish AJ, or Alex, my bad. And yeah, that killed his streak. But then he bounced back against Tim Means. He didn't look good in that fight. He was losing that fight until he got the guillotine, if I remember. So, but still, Murata's a fine fighter. He's like one of the most average fighters you'll see. He's not a bad fighter, but he's never going to be able to be ranked or anything. He's just like that complete mid-tier fighter, which is fine. But yeah, he's just pretty average. Like, he's fine on the feet, he's fine on the ground, his chin's very suspect, and he's just a fine fighter. Really not much to say, to be honest. He's just a very average fighter. I'm pretty sure he goes to a really good gym, yeah, Fortis. Zawa's opponent, Joaquin Buckley, Mr. Highlight, because he's living off a highlight. In the UFC, he is 6-4. I don't gotta waste my time going over wins. Even fucking Impa, he beat fucking Abdul, Duraev, etc. He's not a good fighter. He's just powerful as shit. He has a weak gas tank, yet he's fucking easily beatable. He's just a very powerful dude, so, like, and every time he fights someone even decent, did Jericho beat him? Who sucks ass? I don't know, Buckley has never impressed me. Yes, he has a great KO. What has he done since? Old, overrated, shocker. Come on. Good job. Keep living off that Impa knockout, bruh. Yeah, not much to say about Buckley. He's annoying, but he wins fights out of power. The betting odds first I have Joaquin Buckley minus 200 to plus 165. I disagree. I'd have Buckley minus 155, 160. Do I trust Buckley? No. But do I think he wins this fight? Sadly, yeah. He should be able to win this fight. He should be able to clip Morono's chin and send him to the Shadow Realm. I really don't see why he wouldn't. It's what he should do in this fight, and he probably will do that. So, yeah, right, not much more to say. My pick for this fight is Joaquin Buckley by knockout in the second. I don't love it. I would love to see Buckley lose a fight. He should win. But sadly, I don't see it happening. The only way Murata really wins this is fighting smart for 15 minutes. And it could happen. Buckley's, again, not too good. But am I going to really count on that? No. So my pick is going to be Joaquin Buckley by knockout in the second. Not very much to say. After that, the co-main event of the evening, Be Like Joe Body Bags Pyfer versus Abdul, Razak, Alhassan, Judo Thunder. Stupid nickname. Not gonna waste your time for this fight. I'll break it down simply. This is going to end the first round. How? Most likely, Pyfer's gonna knock him out or submit him. Could Abdul clip Pyfer and knock him out? Of course. Is he? No. He's 38 years old. He is super short for middleweight. He is really washed. Like, his last 2 wins are against 2 bad fighters. Like that awful fight against Buckley, that shit fight against Malkoon and fucking Cass Williams. He's just not really the same fighter that he was in his prime. He had good power for a while. He was knocking motherfuckers dead. And then he got pretty old. He took a long layoff, and that hurt him, so, yeah. Abdul was a good fighter. The key word was. Pyfer's the new dog in the yard, and he is a problem, because he is really good. On the feet, on the ground. He's 2-0 in the UFC. It's gonna make it 3-0. Be like Joe Pyfer. Dana loves him for a reason. He's really good. Joe Pyfer by knockout in the first. Really not much to say. If I really gave you a breakdown, it'd be fucking a waste of time. You know this is not going 5 minutes. You know most likely Pyfer's gonna win. Why waste your time? And now, for the lame event of the evening, we have KGD, Grant Dawson versus Bobby King Green. I won't waste your time with this either. 99% chance Grant Dawson wrestles Bobby Green for 25 minutes and wins. That's most likely what's going to happen. That is what's going to happen. I'm not sure how Bobby would win this fight. He's not going to be able to finish Grant in any way. He's not going to fucking win a decision. Because that means he won 3 rounds, which I don't see him winning more than maybe 1 round. And he's just gonna get wrestled. So, I feel bad for Bobby Green. He fucking second main event and it's just as hard as the first. It's gonna be a long night for Bobby, but whatever. Always good to see Bobby Green, and as always, biasly, I'm gonna pick Bobby Green. It's more fun, and why not? I'll forgive you for Tony. I'll forgive you for the Tony fight because whatever. At least it was you and not Pouty Pimple. And yeah, and the betting after this fight are correct. Grant Dawson could be minus 500. He's going to win. Let's not lie. So yeah, my pick is Grant Dawson's of course gonna win, but for fun I'm gonna go Bobby Green because Bobby fucking Green, man. He's Bobby King. He's not gonna win, but I can dream. Boom. Those are my picks to go over them one last time. JJ Aldrich by decision. Aoriqileng by decision. Vanessa Demopoulos by decision. Mateus Mendonça by knockout in the first. Karolina Kowalkiewicz by decision. Cutelaba by knockout / TKO in the second. Algeo by knockout / TKO in the second. Dober by knockout in the first lock of the night. Joaquin Buckley by knockout in the second. Joe Pyfer by knockout in the first. And Bobby Green by decision. That last one ain't gonna happen, but I will always pick biasly and dream, because that's fun. So, boom. That's the card. It's a fine card. Good main card, okay prelims. Now, what can you ask for from an Apex card besides that? So, yeah. Not very much to say. unless I'm going to say something, next time you'll hear from me is Sunday 1 PM EST or Monday 10 AM EST for a recap of this card. And yeah, it's good to be back. If it's only for 3 weeks, which will only be 9 videos, still, you got 9 videos coming on Friday and either Sunday or Monday. And then, yeah, we'll take another break, which is gonna suck, but what can you do? So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, I don't think I'm forgetting to say anything. So, it feels like I am, but I doubt it. So, please like, comment, 50 subs goal by the end of the year. Tell me your picks, whatever you think of the card video. Tell me whatever you want down below. And as always, RX out. It's good to be back.